Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. So I'm taking a break from recording a video from the Chaotic Central channel, working on my presentation now. Though I got inspiration just out of the blue, thinking about it. I think I did this on a community post, but fuck it, I'll do a video on it. And that's going to be the 2024 election if Donald Trump were to play spoiler. And if I do sound a bit stuffy, I currently have a sinus infection, which it's getting better, though it still sucks. Monday though, I was at work and I was having a hard time, but so let's say Donald Trump loses the 2024 Republican primary. He has said many times that he was considering running third party, and thus, I'm pretty sure he would. Honestly, I'd be shocked if he didn't. So for Ron DeSantis' VP, I'm choosing John James. I feel like DeSantis would have to pick a very Trumpian candidate to offset Trump's third partiness, so I think John James would be best suited for that. And Donald Trump will probably choose Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she's one of the few people who would accept it as a third party candidate. So let's go through the map. As always, we'll go from the west coast to the east coast because I'm different like that. First, we'll start with Alaska. Sorry. We'll start off with Alaska. I personally think Biden's going to end up flipping this by around a point or two, defeating both DeSantis I almost said James and Trump in the state. He'll probably going to win Hawaii by safe margin. The entire west coast probably goes safe blue. I think he'll probably win Nevada by around 8 or 9 points, if not safe. The vote splitting from DeSantis and Trump would be bad news. The chances of Biden winning more than Clark in Washoe County and probably one other county are very slim. He might win Clark County or Carson City County, but that's like that's at most. He'll probably go on to win Arizona by around 6 or 7, if not more. Same story here. He'll probably cause DeSantis and Trump's vote splitting because a bottoming out for conservatives in Maricopa County. He might even win Yuma, though don't hold your breath on that. He'll probably win New Mexico and Colorado safe again. He'll probably win Colorado by 20 points. I do think DeSantis will win Utah. However, he'll probably win it by around 8 points. There will be a lot of conservative voters that will turn out for Donald Trump. However, I do think DeSantis would carry over the Mormon vote. Of course, Trump will probably come in third in the state just because he's just hated by Utah Republicans that will probably still vote for him if he was the GOP nominee. Um, I do think DeSantis would still carry Idaho by probably double digits, probably around 18 to 20 points. Trump will still get a good chunk of the vote here in Idaho. Probably like a Almond Bundy type margin. He'll probably do better than Almond Bundy, to be honest with you. But I do think DeSantis would still carry Idaho. Montana, I do think Biden will probably win that by a lean margin as well. Again, he'll probably win it by a point or two, similar to Alaska. The vote splitting here is not a good sign for Republicans in a state like Montana. It'll really be bad news for Republicans. Biden would, of course, DeSantis and Trump will both be splitting white voters. And Biden would probably win white college uneducated voters due to the vote splitting from DeSantis and Trump. I think Trump will probably end up winning Wyoming by double digits, probably around 10 to 12 percentage points. This is a very Trump heavy state. And if Trump wanted to, he could have primaried out the governor if he wanted to, similar to what he did with Liz Cheney. That's just how strong his appeal is here. Then again, Mark Gordon is one of the most popular governors in the country, so maybe I'm lying there. North Dakota, I think DeSantis wins by around 6 or 7 points. It is more of a establishment-friendly Republican state. Out of the two Dakotas, I do think DeSantis would still win South Dakota, but it'd be a lot more narrow, probably 3 to 4 points overall. I do think out of you know Nebraska, I do think Nebraska at large, as well as its first district, will go to DeSantis very narrowly. Trump will probably win the third district, probably by a safe margin, and Biden probably wins Nebraska's second by a safe margin as well. Biden will probably do a lot. He'll probably crack 50% as always again in Nebraska's second district. Trump will probably crack 50 in Nebraska's third district, while Trump probably gets like 15 to 16% here. Biden gets like 20, 30, and DeSantis gets the rest. Kansas, I think Biden probably wins here by 2 to 3 points. Another lean Biden state. Very college educated, have a very college educated white state. If Trump was a GOP nominee, I've already gone on record saying I do think Kansas would be competitive if Trump was the GOP nominee. And with DeSantis and Trump splitting the Republican vote, Biden probably has easy pickings in the state, though it'll be very competitive. Trump probably goes on to carry Oklahoma by a safe margin, probably 12 to 15 points. Biden probably goes on to carry Texas. If not lean, if not likely, it'll be around 3 to 5 percentage points. You know, all that gains Trump made with Hispanics down the Rio Grande Valley, that DeSantis will probably have the same influence. They're splitting that Hispanic vote. Thus, suburbs and the urban areas would carry Biden to a victory in the state of Texas with around 45 to 46% of the vote, maybe a 43 to 44. Louisiana, I do think Trump probably carries Louisiana by around 3 points. It is like a deep South state. Same thing with Mississippi. You know, these deep South states right here, Trump will probably do well in. Arkansas, I do think he wins by a likely margin. You know, Sarah Sanders is the governor there, and she will probably endorse the guy. So he probably wins here by 7 or 8. Louisiana by a point or two, and Mississippi by 2 or 3. Missouri, I think DeSantis will narrowly carry Missouri. It is a Republican stronghold. Uh, you could say, oh, Trump's endorsement in 2022. The guy endorsed two people because he was scared to make a commitment. So we don't know how much influence he really had. And he made an endorsement the day before the primary. So again, his influence is kind of out of Missouri, but I do think DeSantis will narrowly carry Missouri. You know, of course, all these like dark red counties you typically see would be a light pink due to the vote splitting. You might see a couple Trump counties down here in, southeastern Missouri. I do think Biden will end up carrying Missouri by a lean margin, about 2, 3 points. Again, white working class voters would be split amongst DeSantis and Trump. You might see like a effect where some of those white working class voters don't turn out because DeSantis and Trump are just at each other at all times. Though I do think Biden wins Minnesota by a safe margin. He wins Wisconsin by 8 or more. You know, Illinois. We probably see Pennsylvania go by 8 or 9 as well. Michigan will go safe. You know, Republicans just nominated a fucking lunatic as the GOP chair, so I guess. Well, hey, Democrats nominated a lunatic as their chair in Nevada. I guess Republicans got to have theirs in Michigan, right? Oh, I can't speak. Ohio, that probably goes to Biden as well. I could say it 100 times. Vote splitting this, vote splitting that, vote splitting everywhere. I do think that's a tough one. Indiana's a tough one. I'm gonna say it's going to go tilt for Donald Trump. Very narrow. It is a white working class heavy state. I don't think there's enough influence in the state of Indiana for Biden to win it. Again, like I think Indiana is more, Trump friendly than is, anything else. In DeSantis is no establishment GOP here, but there is still, all that effect. Kentucky, I do think Trump will probably win it by um a lean margin while he wins West Virginia by a likely margin. These are two coal heavy states. Trump is the coal guy. Tennessee, I do think DeSantis will probably win here by a likely margin. Let's get rid of Alabama. He probably wins here by a likely margin. It's more of a establishment state than it is a Trump state. Biden probably wins Virginia safe. He probably wins North Carolina lean. Actually, likely. He probably ends up winning South Carolina lean. He probably wins Georgia safe. He narrowly wins Florida. You got two Florida men going at each other. Biden will just barely get by in the state of Florida. It'll be a shock to everyone. Like, oh, how did Biden win Florida against two Florida men? It's like, yeah, do you not hear yourself? They're splitting the Florida man vote. That's how Biden won. Alabama, this one's kind of a up there. I think DeSantis wins by a likely margin. Every single most of these Republican states are competitive except a handful. We could probably all agree that all these northeastern states will probably end up going safe for Biden, including Maine's second district. So here is the final map. Biden wins 435 electoral votes, a massive landslide. Probably gets like 50-51% of the popular vote. Maybe 49, anywhere from 48 to 51% of the popular vote. Trump at 54 electoral votes, he probably gets like, I don't know, 28%, or scratch that, 26, 25%. DeSantis at 49 electoral votes, he's probably anywhere from 28 to 30%. And, DeSantis, due to Trump's appeal overall, DeSantis, is in third, even though he's arguably a better candidate than Trump, just Trump has better geographical appeal than he does. But thank you guys so much for watching. Is this controversial? Can't wait to see all the Trump people and DeSantis people probably at my throat after this. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the Chaotic One saying, peace.